Welcome to WordPress for Educators, where educators come to learn WordPress. Now in this video, we're going to talk about your About page. Now this is going to be, you could call it bio, you could call it about, you could call it a little something about me, whatever you want to title it. Depends on your personality, depends on your industry, depends on what you necessarily want from your personal profile website. But I'm just going to generically name it About. And then everybody kind of knows what an about page is. It tells more about either the person or the organization. So that's what we're going to go with on this particular website. But certainly feel free to call it anything that you want to, about me, about my work, whatever you want it to be. So we have our website here. The last video, we took care of the adding our profile picture, and we took care of adding our name and our position. And we also have our menu here with our pages that we've already set up. And so now all it requires is that we go to our pages and begin to set them up. So what we do, we can do this all from, excuse me, we can do this all from the front end of WordPress. So basically while you're looking at the website, or you could even do it from the WordPress dashboard by hovering over pages and clicking on that. And then you would click on whichever page that you want to deal with. So either way is good. I find that with a small website, it's okay to do this because you only have just a small number of pages to be able to move through. But as your pages get longer or as your posts get longer, sometimes it's easier just to use the front end to go to whichever page you want. Because I'll show you when we click on About, it gives you the option here when you're logged in to be able to edit. Now this is not something that users who are not logged into your account are going to see. So their page is going to stop here and it's just going to be this part. They also won't have this little button down here. If you click this, it will actually take you to the page to edit the page. Here you can enter into the customizer, which we used in order to change some of these items over here. You can also edit the page, and it gives you a few more options here. So you can collapse this bar, or you can get out into some of the other functions that are not, they're just not common functions necessarily. So if you want to copy the short link, that's like copying the link up here, and then you could use that to share, something like that. But for our purposes, we just want to click the edit button. And now it's going to bring us to kind of the new editor. So this is WordPress is going through a transition. So just like we had where I showed you before, when you log in and you have this kind of reader thing going on here, and you have the different sites, and it looks like this. This is the new version of WordPress. This is the old version of WordPress. Now right now they're existing on top of each other and in the same space. So you can use either this or you can use this. Now this is more graphically pleasing. Maybe it makes more sense to you. This is the way that I have learned WordPress, and most people have learned WordPress over the years, is through this dashboard with lots of different links down the left hand side. And you essentially could get to everything a little bit more quickly. This requires that you dig in a little bit. You have to go to the WP admin in order to do some more creation type things. Okay, I don't know, that doesn't make sense, but I think that this is a great interface for maintenance of your website, but it's not quite as good at this point, at least to me and to my mind, for doing page creation and things like that. But you just need to know that this is essentially the same thing as this. It just looks different. So let's compare them. Right here, if you click on the title, you can change the title. So you can make a change to the title just like you would right here. It's just that you don't have the, you don't have the comfort of the box kind of containing you in. If you wanted to get the link or change the link, you can do that here, just like you would here. There's just not a button that says edit that turns it into an editable field. you can just begin clicking on the field, and it's live and ready for you to make changes to. So there are some differences, but most of it is just similar. There's just no boxes free or kind of containing you into spaces. If you want to make changes here, you just start typing where it is. Here you have, definitely a distinction. This is the part where you would go in and you would add your text. Okay. So, update and those kinds of things are on this side, whereas in the old version, it's on this side. So it's just some different things to get used to and accustomed to. You can do some of these previews, and the things that you would normally do here are now up here. So you can edit the visibility and make it private or password protected. You could send this page to the trash. You can do that up here too. You see that we have visibility, and you can choose those things, or you can move it to the trash, but they've just put them in a different spot up here. Okay, so this is kind of the new version, and this is the old version. So if you click through, which what we did was we were on the website and we clicked edit, it's going to bring you to this newer version. And so if you are on the back side in the dashboard and you click on pages, then it's going to bring you to the old version. So whatever you feel most comfortable with, it's up to you. I'm going to use the old version. Feel free to try out either one and see which one works best for you. When you click publish or update, it all does the same thing, whether you use the newer version of the newer interface or the older interface. So I have some about text already copied. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste that in. And this was just something I was doing before, using fake names. So let's just put my own name in there. What did I say I was? Professor of Computer Science at the University of Chicago. So I'm just going to copy that as well. Let's close this. Let's see. I'm a professor of computer science. Let's see, like I could say an assistant. I'm an assistant professor of computer science at the University of Chicago, comma, a post I've held for 5 years. So maybe it's just, what is your, what do you want to put out there? Depending on what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to get more work or whether you're trying to just allow people, you're in a solid, stable position, you just want people to know who you are, what you do. This will be kind of a headline of sorts, and then you would think of this as more about filling out that headline. This is what I do, this is who I am. One nice thing that you can do that you saw I had before was that I had this as a link. So you could actually link to your university's or your school's website. And the way you would do that is you highlight all the words that you want to link. And you click on this, insert or edit link. And then all you have to do is type the link. Now I'm not with the University of Chicago, so let's find out there. All right, so it's uchicago.edu. So basically I would just copy this link. And then I would paste it here. So we have that. And then we apply the link. So now it's a link, and when we preview our changes and look at it, you can see that it would link to the University of Chicago, which is kind of a nice little way to give a little love to your school or your university, or to allow people to maybe to be able to find you on the school website as well, or to learn more about you or what you're about because of the place that you work. So we have this. And what I like to do when I'm sending people off of my website onto another website, it's generally a good idea to make this link open in a new window. Now you don't have that option right here, but what you do have is these link options. So if you open that, you can see your URL. This is the text that's going to be shown with the link. And then you can click this. It says open the link in a new tab. Click update. Preview the changes. And when I click the link now, it should open into a whole new tab. Okay, so it does. So you see we still have our website here, and we've opened our link, but it doesn't open it in this window and cause the viewer to have to use a back button or something like that. So I personally like that whenever I'm doing an external link, a link that goes off of my website onto another website. So it's generally good web practice. I personally like it. And I like to be able to, when I'm browsing, go to another tab and then close that tab, but I don't have to like keep hitting the back button or try to re-find the website that I was on before. So sending people to an external link, make sure that it opens in a new tab or a new window. So this is what our About page would look like. It's like I said, this theme is fairly basic, but it's typography heavy. So the type is nice. Everything is spaced out well. It's easy to read. They would be able to click on the About page, and then they get right to where you are. Okay. And then they would be able to continue through to your CV or contact you as you're going along. Now you can see when I refresh the page that it went back to the old About text. Okay, so what's happened is I have not saved. I was only doing the preview changes, so it allows you to see what it might look like. You can see up here, it's only previewing the page. This is what it would look like if you did save it. So if you're not quite sure that the changes you're making are things that you want to go live on the web, then you would use this preview changes until you got it to the place where you want it to be. I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any of these social sharing or allowing comments. If you want people to comment just like you would on a blog post, then you would allow comments. If you wanted, well, I'll just show you what these look like, because it may be something that you would want to add to your page. So let's refresh this. So now I have my text because I've saved it. And then down here, you have some options for sharing, or if you're logged into WordPress, then you could like this, and it shows a little picture of you and some other things. This is WordPress specific. This is just anybody can do this. If they click on Twitter, it gives them the option to share your page and about you. So maybe that's something that you would want to do. And you can look into more about that. That's found in the settings and under sharing. There are some different options that you can choose, what types of social media accounts to share to, how they're arranged, what it looks like. That would be something you go to the sharing settings for. Right now, I think I'll take off the likes and I'll leave the sharing. And then I just update that. And then when I refresh the page, you can see that it has the sharing buttons down here, but it doesn't have the likes. So those are taken off. Okay, and so I'm not exactly sure what you might want for your About page. I tried to think through some of those things, but ultimately it depends on your industry. You might put your skills, you might put your companies you work for. I don't know. Some of those things might be okay, depending on what you're trying to do and what industry you're in. So you have to kind of think about those types of things. But my general conclusion about this page is this is like a cover letter that you would send out to someone. So here's me, here's what I'm doing, this is what I've been doing, and here's just generally a little bit more about me. If you're looking for a job, it's going to look a lot more like a cover letter. If you're not looking for a new job, maybe it's going to be more personal information about you or what you enjoy doing. There are ways to include images into your pages. So if you go to here and you click on Add Media, And let's say I just want to, I took a trip to Southern California and I want to talk about my surfing or something. I don't know. I would click on this so that it's checked. And I would insert into the page. And obviously it's not in the right place. Let's say I want it like before this paragraph here. So I would grab it and you can actually move it. Let's see. Yeah, move it just like in Word. You can move it to a part of the page that you want it to be. Drop it. And then now I need to make sure that it is aligned to the left. Right now it's no alignment, so everything has to come up under it. If I align it to the left, then it's going to bring all the text around it. So this is, you've done this before in the word processing software. Align it to the left and the text is to the right. Align it to the right and the text is to the left. Align it to the center and everything goes underneath. And then no alignment means that everything just kind of does whatever it wants to around it. If it's big, everything will come up underneath it. But we want to do to the left right now, and then we could click update. And then we'll refresh our page. And when we come down, you can see that our image is placed very nicely into our text, and it all flows around to the right side of the image. So you can add different types of media very easily into your pages by using the Add Media. Now you can do this for the same, we're editing a page, but you could also do this for a post as well. So if you wanted to add images into a post, that would also be very easy just by using the Add Media. All right, so that is how to create your About page. And after this, we're going to take a look at the contact page, and we'll set up a contact form, just a general contact form, where people could get a hold of you or ask you a question, or if they're interested in working with you on a project or something like that, they would be able to send an email to you, and you would receive that and be able to respond back to them. Again, if you have any questions, you can send me a message on Twitter. My handle is @BrianHafferkamp. And then if you wanted to send an email, my email is Brian, B-R-I-A-N, @ highway